The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, is on a 3-day visit to Sri Lanka, where he is expected to hold bilateral talks and oversee the signing of key agreements in the energy, health, digital infrastructure and defence sectors. The Prime Minister landed in Colombo on Friday, and upon his arrival, he was received by 5 Sri Lankan ministers at the airport despite the rains. In a post on social media X, the Prime Minister expressed his gratitude for the grand welcome. The visit follows Prime Minister Modi's participation in the BIMSTEC summit in Thailand. After his arrival, the Prime Minister was welcomed by members of the Indian diaspora in Colombo. He is the first global leader to be hosted by Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake after he took office in September last year. President Dissanayake visited New Delhi in December last year, marking his first state visit abroad. Today, the Indian Prime Minister is expected to hold a one-on-one talk with the Sri Lankan President, where several key issues like defense, strategic cooperation, energy and infrastructure are likely to be discussed. After the talks between the Prime Minister of India and the President of Sri Lanka, 2 documents facilitating India's assistance to Sri Lanka on debt restructuring and currency swap are likely to be made public. The 2 sides are also expected to seal separate pact on cooperation in the digital domain. Apart from that, the Prime Minister of India and the President of Sri Lanka may take up the sensitive fisheries conflict in which war-affected northern Tamil fishermen of Sri Lanka and daily wage fishermen of Tamil Nadu are severely affected. In Colombo, the Prime Minister of India is scheduled to lay a wreath at the Indian Peacekeeping Force Memorial as well. He will also receive a guard of honor at the Independence Square in Colombo. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval are likely to join the Prime Minister during the visit. The Prime Minister last visited the country in 2019, 3 years ago, when the island nation was reeling under a massive economic crisis. India extended financial assistance worth $4.5 billion to Sri Lanka. All right, let's talk more about this visit by the Indian Prime Minister to Sri Lanka. Our correspondent Dasuni Athoda is now joining us live from Colombo. Dasuni, good to see you. Probably you can tell us the itinerary of the Prime Minister of India in Sri Lanka.
A very good morning to you, Eric, as well. It's lovely to hear you as well. I'm currently outside one of the entrances that lead to the Independence Square, which will be bustling with security and VVIPs in a matter of hours, as Prime Minister Modi's schedule for the day is set to kick off here at the Independence Square with a grand welcome that is featuring a lot of VVIPs, including President Narendra Dissanayake. And after that, Prime Minister Modi, along with President Dissanayake, are scheduled to be having talks between each other, following which several MoUs will be signed. And what these MoUs are, what these terms are, will later on be announced to the public and the media via a press briefing. So that is what we will be expecting for the next few hours until afternoon.
Dasuni, the Prime Minister of India is in Sri Lanka for the next 3 days. Do we know if he's going to meet the Indian diaspora in Sri Lanka?
Well, upon his arrival at the Taj Samudra Hotel last night, Prime Minister Modi did meet with a fair number of Indian diaspora who gathered eagerly, despite the showers and despite the rain, to welcome Prime Minister Modi. And Prime Minister Modi did take time to individually greet them and thank them at the entrance. And also there are several high-level meetings and state banquets that have been organized throughout the day today, possibly towards the evening and even tomorrow, which would mean that the Indian diaspora will get further opportunities to engage with Prime Minister Modi.
Dasuni, finally and very quickly, we understand that the President of Sri Lanka was in New Delhi, and now the Prime Minister of India is extending that visit and that greeting to Sri Lanka. What's the significance of this visit by the Prime Minister of India to Sri Lanka?
This is a truly historical visit from Prime Minister Modi to Sri Lanka, especially given that this is President Disanayake's first term as president and his party's first time in governance here in Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka-India ties span centuries. So this will be clearly a new chapter for Sri Lankan governance, especially under the leadership of President Dissanayake, to see how India and Sri Lanka will further bolster their ties, especially in the areas of energy as well as defense. Now, all eyes will certainly be on the defense agreement as to what it entails in terms of regional cooperation and security, as well as the impacts of globalization, especially in the front of tariffs from Donald Trump.
All right. Dasuni Athauda is our correspondent in Colombo. Dasuni, you'll have to leave it there. Good to see you. Thank you. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.